think that fans are gonna be surprised what they read about. You know, there's always that myth of like, you know, the 80s rock bands, you know, they partied a lot and they did a lot of drugs, but like to actually read it, you know, and a lot of bands don't do a lot of drugs, don't drink, but you obviously, you know, did it all. So
it is what it is. I mean,
yeah.
it's just really sort of my little story about the whole thing, and I think it shed some light as to what really went on when I quit and why I quit and what was going on that resulted in me quitting, or whatever, however you want to put it. And I don't think it's going to be shockingly surprising, but I think it'll be interesting because it's so far from the way that I've seen it written.
Yeah, like when you're on tour in Guns N' Roses and Velvet Revolver, did you actually write like journals?
No,
so you have to remember everything.
I just had to remember stuff, and the only thing I did have for any kind of reference really was old tour books.
Oh yeah.
Some sort of, and it was funny because
then it all comes back.
Yeah, they sort of brings back memories. Yeah.
Was it hard for you to think back to those days and relive all those memories? Like,
no.
You know, no, it wasn't? Because you kind of, I thought maybe because you were over it, like you'd been through the addiction and all that, and now to like try and relive it and write it down might have been kind of tough. But
no, I mean, because it was all, you know, I think, I don't want to get misconstrued. The book wasn't like the stuff that's in the book. It's not me whining about how tough it was. It wasn't a hard road. It wasn't a hard life. Or any of that. It was fucking great, and it still is great. But there were certain things that, certain sacrifices that ended up having to happen so I could continue doing what my main focus is, which is just playing guitar and, you know, taking care of whatever that entails. Most importantly, to be able to do what it is that I love to do, you have to really be able to keep it together. Yeah. You know, and also I've got 2 kids now, and I don't want to be the junkie dad fucking trying to hide that from my kids.
Yeah.
So I think all in all, it's been a really great year and a half that I've been clean and just sort of been really, really busy and very active and not having to deal with having to spend at least an hour in a bar every 2 hours.
You still go to bars?
Yeah, no, everything's still the same. Everything is always, you know, always around. It's sort of, it goes with the territory. But it's just, it doesn't really trigger me. I'm not really.
It's not interested in it.
Yeah, I'm not interested. Yeah.
You grew up in LA, and I was just wondering, do you think that people, like, 'cause you were addicted to these drugs, was it the surroundings? Do you think it was more? Do you think that people are born with addictive personalities, like, or is it a little bit of both? Like, do you feel like you had an addictive personality?
I have a very addictive personality.
You do, okay.
Yeah.
But it's also this. Do you think it's also the surroundings too? Like, it's kind of all available to you too, right? Growing up in that scene.
Well, I grew up. Yeah. See, I was exposed to it way before I picked up the guitar, and then once I picked up the guitar, sort of my pastime activities sort of evolved on their own.
Yeah.
And I didn't know much. Like, I didn't know anything really about heroin except for it was like taboo, you know, because it's something they taught you in school when I was in grade school. And the first time I ever did it, I was like, well, I'll just try it, you know. Yeah. And it was like that particular drug that just spoke to me. It was like the only real drug that I really had a thing for.
Yeah.
You know, I could take coke, take it or leave it. Pot, you know, I smoked a lot of pot as a kid. I burned out on it. By the time I was 19, I stopped smoking pot. But the heroin thing, boy, that was like my drug. I mean, all that stuff, it was like I knew it was bad for me, and I was very aware of what I was doing, but I think I probably was more attracted to it because I like doing everything that I wasn't supposed to be doing anyways. Right. And so that's how the drug thing was. Did
you have to kind of separate yourself from the guys that you were partying with so much to be able to quit?
No. I mean, it's really, I'm what you consider more of a loner kind of guy, so I never used drugs to socialize. It wasn't part of the deal. So
no, but I just wonder, because you're always hanging out with them and being like, you know, and you're doing it with them. So
no, see, I never did drugs with them.
Oh, you never did? Oh.
No, I was always on my own. There was a lot of issues when we were opening for Aerosmith because they'd just gotten clean at that point, and we were you know, like at the height of our, you know, toxic concept, how do you say it? Consuming whatever. Yeah. And so what we did was we always made sure that we kept everything in a cup.
Because you knew that they were sober.
Yeah. But it was never really a big issue. I think once you resign to the concept of trying to keep yourself clean, then it's your own battle, and it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing.
Yeah. Cool.